I think this is not only obviously the biggest fight of Terence Crawford's career, but in a career that's filled with almost nothing but huge fights, this is the biggest fight of Canelo Alvarez's career.
A lot stronger, and I think he's going to have better endurance. Not being able to boil himself down like that, and even though it is a huge jump, I think we lose sight of the fact of how much he had to boil down and how gaunt he looked at 140.
You said you don't think, or you don't look into the weight difference. Why?
Well, you know how to box. When you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much.
As the world counts down to the explosive clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, Max Kellerman has weighed in with his final take. Now part of Netflix's elite broadcast team for this historic showdown, Kellerman brings his trademark sharp analysis and deep historical perspective to what promises to be one of boxing's most defining nights.
A great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford. Okay. But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah. Kellerman doesn't pull punches. He calls Canelo versus Crawford the most watched championship fight in nearly 50 years. He even compares it to Muhammad Ali's legendary rematch with Leon Spinks in 1978, a fight that drew a staggering 90 million viewers. With Netflix broadcasting worldwide, Kellerman stresses this isn't just another mega event. It's a revolution in boxing's reach and business model, with viewership expected to blow past traditional pay-per-view numbers.
But where would you rank this fight out of your top 3 to 5 of all the boxing fights you've called, you've experienced, you've watched?
In terms of the magnitude of the fight?
magnitude, yeah.
I mean, of the fights that I've called ringside, it might turn out to be number 1. I've done Pacquiao fights, I've done Mayweather fights, I've done Anthony Joshua against Klitschko. Those are big fights. But listen, because of Netflix, this will be the most watched fight, championship fight, in almost 50 years. This is going to be because Muhammad Ali fought Leon Spinks in the rematch in 78, and they did 90 million TV sets. 90 million. And since then, what has even come close? The biggest fights have all been on pay-per-view, and they do 2 million buys. Oh my God, 4 million buys, Mayweather Pacquiao. As I keep saying, if 5 people per TV set watch, that's 20 million people. This is going to do multiples of that. So when you look at it from a commercial point of view, it'll easily be the biggest boxing event I've ever covered.
Fight promoter Dana White confirmed it. Max Kellerman will return to the broadcast booth for Canelo versus Crawford on September 13, 2025. The veteran analyst, famed for his work on ESPN and HBO, will join John Onek and Hall of Famer Andre Ward at Allegiant Stadium. Kellerman called the matchup the perfect storm, praising both fighters as pound-for-pound elites. He noted that Crawford currently has his vote as the best in the sport, while Canelo held that crown not long ago. Highlighting the rarity of this moment, Kellerman pointed out that in all of boxing history, only about 25 to 30 fighters have been truly recognized as the top pound-for-pound, and now 2 of them are meeting in the same ring.
Nick Khan, the best in the business. Dana White. Dana White is the greatest combat sports promoter of my lifetime. And it's his first ever boxing promotion. So that's who's behind what you're going to see. Do you know who's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? The most recent one. Bud Crawford. Apologies to the monster and Usyk. Bud Crawford has my vote for best pound-for-pound. Who was the best pound-for-pound before Bud? Canelo Alvarez, universally recognized that way. But it's not just these two guys, the last two best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. There haven't been that many. Before Canelo, who do you have? Before Canelo, Floyd or Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather. Before, you could take the lineage back. There have only been, I don't know, 25 or 30 fighters who ever lived who you said that's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. These are two of them, the last two. And they're going to fight in Las Vegas on September 13th. Canelo is 62-2 with 2 draws, 62-2. So was Marvin Hagler when Sugar Ray Leonard moved up to fight him, and they produced one of the biggest spectacles in the history of boxing. This fight is a perfect storm. I could not be more excited to be a part of it.
Former world champion Timothy Bradley Jr. sees the opening round as less fireworks, more chess. He predicts a cautious start, with both men feeling out range, rhythm, and timing rather than charging in. Bradley notes that Crawford has always been patient, setting traps before striking, while Canelo often uses the early rounds to download data on his opponent. The result? Expect round 1 to be a slow burn, a setup for the high-stakes tactical battle that follows.
Feel his punching power as well. In the beginning, it's all the position balance. Like, both guys are trying to get balance and trying to find their rhythm, understanding their distance to where they can punch and at the same time avoid getting hit. It takes Crawford a little bit more time than I would say Canelo to get right to it. Canelo, although he is a prolific counterpuncher, fantastic counterpuncher, he tends to find his spots a lot quicker. And the indication of that is when, if you look at any of the boxers that Canelo has faced, Trout, even Danny Jacobs, even when he fought against Charlo, you just check out the first round. He usually takes off, just feels the power, cruises, see what these guys know, couple of feints, level changes, gathering information, right? Crawford does the same and similar things. So I think the first round's going to be a real, calm and cautious round by both fighters. But in the second round, Canelo's going to start applying that pressure, man. Pre-engagement with Crawford is a little bit more difficult than a Charlo, okay? And let me explain this. So pre-engagement is the movements before you get into that sweet spot, which is mid-range, to be able to let your hands go, right? Both guys are trying to counter each other's movement. Both guys are looking at each other's, hands, trying to anticipate what they believe is going to come next. During those periods right there, Crawford is one of the best at it, okay? Because he's smart. He's cerebral. Like, a fighter to a fighter, we can feel when another fighter is like, oh, he's on my rhythm.
WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson is firmly in Crawford's corner. He has repeatedly predicted not only a Crawford victory, but the possibility of a stoppage win. Stevenson cites Bud's speed, southpaw stance, and ring IQ as decisive advantages. In his words, Crawford will cook Canelo, suggesting this fight may not even be close. It's a prediction Stevenson first made back in 2021, and one he's never wavered from, confident that Crawford's precision and adaptability make him the logical favorite in this mega fight.